identify peaks in sales and when it really made sense for them to be open, or maybe they should close their doors earlier or stay open later, depending on when their peak volume of traffic walked past their storefront.
Hello everyone. Elle Ballard is here on the Empowered Global Women in Business podcast with my guest, Roanne. Hi, Roanne. Welcome.
Hi.
Great to see you. Roanne Abe is a 10X business coach who helps entrepreneurs, trades professionals, and advisors scale their businesses with proven strategies. Through structured coaching and accountability, she empowers clients to grow revenues by 30% in 90 days while building sustainable systems for long-term success. I am excited for this conversation. Thank you for taking the time to be on our podcast. I usually like to start with what brought you to do this work, to be doing this work today.
What brought me here is a coach helped me in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was at this really low point in my life. The company I had worked with for over, a decade, I had to work with executive management to close their doors in 6 months. And we had employees from Hawaii all the way to DC. So it spanned the nation. And to shutter that all within 6 months was quite daunting. And I didn't know who to turn to for help. And I found it in a coach. And I thought, wow, I want to help other people who are in situations like this. And that's why I do what I do today.
So you lived it yourself, journey. Yeah,
it was not a fun journey.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing the work you do, because it's helping business owners and business journey, as we know, have so many different things happening and coming at you, and where do we put attention and what do we do? And I wanted to, before we jump deeper into talking about your business, I also wanted to touch on you building a business as a woman on your own terms. And I wanted to ask a question. How has this journey been for you to be building a business as a woman? We are in the Empowered Global Women in a podcast and business podcast. And what does it really mean for you to be an empowered woman that empowers others, that helps others? How has this journey being in business been for you?
Oh, it's been filled with ups and downs and highs and lows. I won't kid you there. But what it's been, I guess, most fulfilling is the people you meet along the way.
Yeah.
And I've met several great people, great mentors. And it's the experience of just getting to work with people and to really learn from that experience. Because as a coach, I get to work with great people and I get to learn from them just like they learn from me. And I love that exchange of energy and of ideas and thoughts. And I think that has helped me to become just a better person overall.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to go a little bit deeper on talking about growing revenues in our businesses. And the question I had here is, what do female entrepreneurs do today to be successful?
I believe in working with clients, past and current, it's that they track what matters. They know what their key performance indicators or KPIs are, and they just track it religiously so that they know if they're on track or if they're off track. And if they're off track, what areas do they need to focus on in order to become better and on track?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, measuring versus just doing. Measuring exactly what what needs to be, what works, right?
Yeah. Because a lot of people, they just go by their gut feel. Like, oh, I think it's this one part of my business. Or when you start
Mm-hmm.
to go to your peer network, you say, I have this problem. And you get all these different ideas, but you won't know how to implement it or where to focus on unless you know your business and what you need to do in order to get it to run great, right? Whether it's how many posts I did on social media, how many events did I hold, or how many just new people did I meet, right? If you go to networking events, all of
Mm-hmm.
that matters, and you won't quite know where to focus on if you don't track it.
Yeah, yeah. So, what are some of the things that business owners should pay attention to? What are some of the key KPIs they should track?
I think it's how do they get attention? What
How
works for
does they
their
get attention?
business? Right?
In terms of the
Traditionally,
new prospects and potential clients, and mm-hmm.
right? In the past, it might be how many ads did we put in the newspaper? But now in
Yeah,
today's world, who reads the newspaper in print anymore?
right,
It's a shrinking market. Right? So
yeah,
how else do you get people to hear about you that have never heard about you so that you can fill your funnel so you can get the clientele you need in the volume you need in the future? So that's a big one. And it keeps shifting
yeah,
because how people pay attention in this world also shifts, and it shifts so quickly.
right, yeah. I guess that's one of the main challenges today, right? To be able to stay with this shift. We have AI constantly evolving. We have all these things that constantly changing. You mentioned the newspaper in the earlier days. We didn't have social media to learn about each other. It was in some ways maybe simpler. I don't know, right? But then there were some other challenges. I'm sure, of course, with social media, it's just so much easier to be visible,
Hmm.
maybe. But yeah,
Yeah. But even on social
yeah,
media, it becomes what channel do you be on or what channels,
right,
right? Is it YouTube? Is it TikTok? I don't know what the next new one is going to be.
exactly, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so for the business owner, it's where the clients are.
Hmm.
How, right? Is that correct? Yeah. So how does a business owner choose a channel based on where the clients usually
Yeah,
hang
where your
out? And
clientele is.
yeah, 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 because there are so many channels, it's not possible to be on everywhere. And it probably not needed. Yeah,
Because it'll be different too if your client base is very small, like you're very niched business. So if you only have 20 clients at a time, it's going to be different than if you needed thousands of clients every month.
right. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. So understanding, starting, I guess, with how many clients do I want?
Hmm.
And
Right.
if the answer is 20, and then how many, what would be the closure rate, right? How many do I need to attract
Hmm.
attention to get to 20? And what channels? Yeah, yeah, I like that. So going from the goal of that and then identifying and kind of building the funnel from there,
Hmm.
right?
Right. We
Mm-hmm.
all want $1 million, right, in
Yeah,
revenues every year. Uh, and it's how do you get to that million? Is it one client or is it 10,000 clients? And at 10,000 clients, the price point is so different from one client.
yeah. And then the means to attract those,
Hmm.
would you say too, right? Different, yeah, depending on, yeah, because the price point will be probably low. And so it's a wider channel, a wider pool, maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, identifying those. Yeah, it's great to. I love how you mentioned that because I think it's important to be able to know what to measure. Measure one, But then what to measure is two,
Hmm.
because we could apply a wider universal kind of idea. Let's measure this KPIs that a lot of businesses do, but it does not necessarily apply to my business. So identifying what applies to my business, and I think that's an important key that you mentioned. I like that. Yeah, it's so important.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Yeah, what have you seen with your clients? If you could share um, in experience with your clients on how they are doing this, identifying that and measuring that, and then going
So,
after that revenue that they have in mind.
so some of them didn't know where to look at first. So we chose some variables just to track, like how many people walk past their storefront on a daily basis, and to just track that at various hours of the day, right? Because it was a single person, solopreneur working a kiosk. And so they did this at various times, and they're like, okay, that allowed them to identify peaks in sales and when it really made sense for them to be open, or maybe they should close their doors earlier or stay open later, depending on when their peak volume of traffic walked past their storefront. That also led to other questions about product mix, where
Mm-hmm.
it's like, well, what attracts people's attention when they walk past a kiosk? And so some of the product mix changed in the front of the kiosk because it was more
Yeah,
attention catching.
that's good. Mm-hmm.
Um, then she started to recognize phrases that when she talked to people, what words resonated with the people
Mm,
walking past.
right.
So, in capturing this information, she was able to then go back to her sales staff that manned the kiosk to say, we're going to do these activities more often. So when you greet people, you greet them with this phrase when they first come by,
Interesting. Yeah.
and that's how she was able to measure what really resonated and what didn't resonate. And then they started to have more open communications, because as a business owner, it's very important that you know what your customers are doing, right? You kind of uh, I'm trying not to date myself, but it's like you have to walk the floor, right, of your
Yeah.
business to really see what's going on. And that became a key indicator for my client, where she's like, I have to
Mm,
do this on at least daily in the beginning so that she could reconnect with her clientele, because her
yeah.
clientele wasn't quite as she remembered it a year ago.
Mm, interesting. Yeah, and so that evolves too, right? We're talking about the whole world evolving and the AI and social media and your channels, but then the clients themselves also. So there's that side too.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you for sharing that story. Yeah, because I don't think we often think about the wording or the keywords. We might think for the search engine optimization, but then we don't inside the store for the physical location. This is actually a great example of just really considering all aspects and what plays roles in that business that leads to sale.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. So, I know you're based in Hawaii, beautiful
Hmm.
Hawaii, but you work with online as well, with people online and
Hmm.
uh, in
Yeah.
Hawaii,
So
in person.
I've worked with people on the East Coast. I've worked with people a little bit further than the East Coast, and then on the West Coast as well, and in Hawaii. So they all have different fun stories to share
Yeah.
about, or maybe not so fun, but at the end, they become fun stories about
Hmm.
how their business is, what they struggle with. And even though we're very different in personalities and cultures, we're business wise, we can all be the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that's wonderful that you are doing this and helping. I love that. Now, how can, if someone is listening right now, they're interested, how can they maybe schedule a call with you? How can they learn more about you? And we will, by the way, post the links, those links to how to connect with Roanne, to her Calendly as well, um, and LinkedIn as well.
Yeah. I just encourage people to have a conversation.
Yeah.
It's free. I it's at my calendar site is coachroanne.as.me/first call, and we just go over what does your business do and what do you want it to do, right?
Hmm.
It's what is the mission of your business and what do you need to fund it so that it can carry out its mission.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Is there anything else you want to share, Rowan, before we go into rapid fire questions here?
I think people just need to start. That's the hardest part. It's just taking that first action. And once you take that first action, the confidence will come. So,
Yeah.
good, bad, or ugly, just take that first step.
First step in building a revenue, opening a business, or whatever that step is.
hmm Even
Yeah.
if it's tackling the problem, right? It's so much easier to go, oh no, 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 I'm not going to look at it today. Just take a look at it.
Yeah. Facing it. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Okay. Are you ready for our rapid fire questions?
Ready or not, here we come.
So, my first question is your favorite book name is?
My favorite book name is The Richest Man in Babylon, and it
Ooh.
is a classic written by George Clason. And I love
Mm-hmm.
it because it's a parable that is the entire book, and one that I think is timeless and we can all learn from.
Mm-hmm.
For
Yeah.
those of you who don't like reading, it is a short read. It's, I think, all of 80
It's
pages. So,
yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. Beach or mountains?
mountains,
Favorite international destination to visit?
Japan.
That's on my list. I have not been. I'd love to go. Um, Summer or winter?
Ooh, winter.
Okay, and my final question is things that you have discovered about yourself recently. Things that you have
Um,
discovered about yourself recently.
I've discovered that I like to do yard work, or I like to be in my garden. And I've also discovered that my garden is very forgiving. So if I over prune it,
Mm,
it is more than willing to grow back.
beautiful. Wonderful. That's awesome. I love that. Thank you for playing. Thank you for being on the podcast, Juan, taking the time to speak today. This has been wonderful. Again, our listeners connect with Ron, get to know her and how she can help you grow your revenues by 30% in 90 days. And this has been Empowered Global Women in Business Podcast. Thank you so much, Ron.
Thank you.